Welcome. We're on the red couch with Suzy Farbman, successful author who Oprah introduced to the world as an expert on the tough challenges of saving a marriage with her book, Back from Betrayal, Saving a Marriage, a Family, a Life. Then Suzy was diagnosed with stage 4 uterine cancer and feared her life was over. After surgeries, chemotherapy, and radiation, her doctor pronounced her cured. That was 8 years ago. She shares her story in her new memoir, Godsigns, Health, Hope, and Miracles, My Journey to Recovery. Suzy recounts not only the physical aspects of her journey, but also the spiritual. Suzy, I am so thrilled to have you on the red couch.
And I am totally thrilled to be here. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Now, that kind of diagnosis is probably everybody's worst nightmare. And the process of getting through it sounded grueling and very difficult. How did you get through the first early weeks?
During the beginning, I lived in a constant state of terror. And to be perfectly honest, the way I got through it was by popping Xanax as though they were M&Ms.
Yeah.
And it took 3 weeks, numerous visits to numerous doctors because my cancer had spread. And so I was seeing both oncological gynecologists and bone oncologists. And actually, by the time I was diagnosed, my left pelvic bone was 90% invaded by a tumor, and the right was 60%. Yeah, it was really scary. The other way I got through it was by asking my husband to take over. He became my medical advocate. I said to him at the time, I said, I know this is a huge favor to ask, but this case is so complicated that I see that the one way I can possibly get through it and have good decisions made is if I don't have to make those decisions.
Yeah.
You know, to say, sure, have at me, cut, burn, poison, do what you need to do. That was like not within my capacity to say.
Yeah.
So I said to my husband, if you'll take over the medical aspects of this case, I will do the best I can to shore myself up spiritually.
So what does that mean, shoring yourself up spiritually? How did you do it, or how can anyone do it?
Well, for me, spirituality includes a sense that there is a higher power, something bigger than we are, guiding and in charge of the whole process. Or as a psychologist, one of the many I sought out help and counsel from friends, psychologists. I had a massages from an energy therapist. And as one of them said to me, Suzy, this disease is not in your hands, it's in the hands of the divine. And so I did the best I could to realize this was bigger than I was and to take the best possible care of myself in terms of nurturing my spirit.
Wow. So you started to see what you're calling God signs. Can you describe what God signs are?
Well, I didn't know they were God signs. I was getting amazing insight from friends and from professionals. And then this one day we were walking the beach in Sarasota. I was in an especially low mood frame of mind because I was due the next day to go back to Michigan where I was treated and have more grueling treatment. So I was really feeling down. And my husband and I were walking the beach of Longboat Key. And off to one side I see this passel of young women. They weren't so young, but these days most people look young, sitting on the beach and having a drink and chatting and laughing, and they were having such a fine time. And so we walked by, and on the way back I thought, I wonder who they are, where they're from, and mostly I just admired their good humor, and they were obviously having such a good time. So I dropped my husband's hand and I said, I'm going to go talk to them. He said, they look like they're having a good time without you. I said, they'll want to talk to me. So I dropped his hand, which was pretty much out of character anyway. And understand, I had no makeup. I was wearing a chemo cap, an old beaten up jacket. I mean, I looked like the Wrath. And I went up to them and talked to them. And it turned out that one of them, well, I say to them as though they need to hear this, they're having a perfectly lovely time. And then I say, you know, what's this all about? And they tell me they're having a 50th reunion. And I say to them, enjoy it. I said, you don't know how much time you have. I said, I turned 60 this year and came down with stage 4 cancer. And I'm like patting my chemo cap. And, you know, it's instead of saying, what is she thinking? Get this crazy woman out of here. They were very sympathetic, and one was particularly sympathetic. And turned out, she tells me that she had a serious cancer, a cervical cancer, and it was at that point that they realized they missed each other. They were all from Wilton, Connecticut. It's my hope that I will someday meet them or see them again. I don't know who they were. I never got their names. But so she stands up, this one gal is telling me that she had stage 4, you know, serious cancer, and that, but it's been several years now, and at this point I was of the state of mind that pretty much cancer is a terminal disease. And anybody I met, any survivors I met, gave me hope.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So she tells me this, and I say to her, well, I need to give you a hug. So she stands up, and we have this lovely hug right there on the beach, and then I walk away. And then that turned out to have been like the first amazingly inspiring thing that happened, of 3 things that happened back to back that day. And it was at that point that I said to my husband, you know, I don't know how, but I think these could be signs from God. God signs. So the word came to me, the concept came to me, and I know it seemed outrageous, because who was I to have these, you know, miracles taking place? But who's anybody?
Right.
So
in the first chapter of your book, Godsigns, will you read a little piece of it? It's on page 6. It's a little piece.
Twist.
It's just a nice summary of what it was all about when you first discovered the Godsigns.
I would love to.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this was after these 3 things had transpired.
Right.
And I'm having this conversation with my husband about what's been going on. On the one hand, it seemed the height of nerve to assume that people and events and conversations could have been arranged just for me. Who was I? Hardly someone who'd racked up points with the Almighty. I'd come to God in my 50s, but for selfish reasons, because I had nowhere else to turn, because prayer consoled me, helped me through worries about my mother, and then about my marriage, and now about my health. I was a nice person, a caring friend, a devoted parent and wife, but no Mother Teresa. On the other hand, why not me? Why not any of us? I'd be a fool to dismiss the extraordinary turns that had occurred, especially in recent weeks. So many gifts had shown up in my life. It would be ungrateful not to appreciate them. I couldn't ignore the possibility that certain events were somehow designed to reassure me, to boost me up, to give me hope. Wishful thinking? Maybe. Illogical? You bet. But divine intervention is not a matter of logic, at least logic as far as we human beings can see. And even if these occurrences weren't designed specially for me, they happened. That was magic enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So can anyone find God signs? You don't have to be any particular religion, do you?
No, you don't. I don't think you either have to be any particular religion or that you have to be religious. But I feel as though you do have to feel that there is something bigger than us in charge.
Right.
Whether it's, the quantum field,
Yeah.
whether we call it God, whether we call it universal intelligence. Yes, and I believe God signs are there for all of us. And my next book, I'm hoping, my next book will be about other people's God signs. And I've had some great stories which only reinforce my conviction that, in fact, God signs do happen to all of us. But it's kind of like radio waves. You know, we only pick up on them when we're tuned in.
So you have to be kind of receptive or open to seeing them and spotting them.
Exactly. And appreciating them.
Yeah, I really liked when you said that.
Yeah. I think the more we appreciate them, the more we're likely to have more of them.
Good. That's good news. So you had a wonderful experience. I'm wondering if you would share with a license plate as a sign.
I did. Aside from, getting God signs from all sorts of people, either professionals or friends, I also got them in a lot of crazy ways. And on this one particular day, it was not long after this day on the beach, and I had come back to Detroit, and I was due to have radiation on my throat. I ended up not only having cancer of the uterus, but I also had a problem with my thyroid. And I had had surgery on my thyroid, and I was due to begin radiation on my thyroid. And when I thought about what radiation had done to the bottom half of me, I was really, really not looking forward to having it up there.
Absolutely not.
So this particular day, I am driving. It's snowy. I've left Florida. This is, a few days after my discovery of God signs. I've left Florida. I'm driving in Michigan. It's March. It's snowy. The roads are slippery. And I'm stuck behind this very slow, old, battered-up Ameritech repair truck. And the one lane was blocked for road construction. And this truck was really going slowly, and I was late for an appointment. So I decide, all right, I'm going to call my sister. So I pick up the phone. I call my sister. She answers the phone. Hi, I'm in Vail. She said, I'm on top of a mountain. I'm gazing out at snow-covered trees, blue sky, sunshine. And I'm saying, great. Now, I love and adore my sister. And she really was trying to, put me in another place and cheer me up. But I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the sister who likes to ski. And who knows if I'll ever be able to ski again, no less be alive, right, to ski again. So I got off the phone as soon as I can. And now I got the Ameritech truck, I got the road construction, I've got the light, and I'm stuck. And then the light turns red. And this truck is turning the same way I'm turning, so I'm stuck behind this truck. And in the back, we have barricades, we have ladders, we have cones. All this stuff is just strewn in the back, and the truck's a mess. And I'm aggravated about that I'm not skiing in Vail, and that, I'm worried about what's going to be with my health. And then I see what it took, road construction, snow, traffic light to see. And that is the license plate on this truck that's sitting in front of me. It's dinged and battered just like the truck is, and no doubt there are several layers of years, each time the plate was renewed, up in the right-hand corner. But it's the numbers on this license plate that all of a sudden I'm like, whoa. The numbers on this license plate, now you should know that my lucky number is 8. I was married on April 8th. My older son was born on October 8th. So my lucky number is 8. My husband's lucky number is 5. The number on this license plate, 8585 MD. I was, whoa. That was just amazing to me. And then other things which you will read about in God signs, other things happen with the same numbers that are also involved in that license plate.